Hey, it's your boy. I'm back again. Wait, why is the camera so blurry? Hold up, hold up. Okay, it's just like that now. All right. I'm back again though, and let me tell you, I've got an absolute banger. Ow, my cat's scratching me. Banger of an idea, and let me tell you, there is. Well, it's not really a banger of an idea. So, Jujutsu Kaisen, season 2 comes out tomorrow. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, I was gonna upload because I started playing Nier Replicant. I want to play the Nier games and beat them both and put them on the channel. So I'm gonna start uploading those. But I figured I gotta get this done, as well as a few other things before I start playing. Nier like it's the main thing. But Jujutsu Kaisen Zero review time, boys. Um, this is my favorite part of Jujutsu Kaisen. If you watch my last review, you're probably still seething from my take, honestly. I'm sorry to hit you with that, but I stick to my words, let me tell you, and I'll speaking of sticking to words, I will tell you what, my friend. The the general JJK show, great. I just am not a fan of season 1 other than specific parts, but Zero is great. Zero takes everything that I like about Jujutsu Kaisen and ups it, which is amazing. I really think my biggest beef honestly comes from Yuji. Honestly, I don't think he's a bad character. I just don't think he's super interesting. I think he's a really middle tier character. Um, for a series that has some extremely interesting power system. I think he has one of the least cool powers, one of the least cool personalities, and just overall my problems come from Yuji until season 2. Season 2 he does take his own place and becomes his own character, but I actually do enjoy. But I can't excuse that for season 1. Now stop talking about season 1 and talk about Zero. Zero, great. There's so much good. The fights in this are insane. When I was watching it, I was blown away because everyone was blown away by the Todo and Yuji versus, I don't remember. It's like a plant curse thing. And that was a cool fight, but I didn't see the hype. I think it's because I had watched Demon Slayer, but right before, well, not right before us, but I'd watched it pretty fast. I watched the Demon Slayer movie and then I watched JJK. And coming from the Demon Slayer movie to JJK season 1, well, yes, it is different types of visuals. Like how I like to equate it is One Piece, Bleach both have kind of more flashy fights. And those remind me of Demon Slayer fights. Well, Naruto has not really super flashy fights, but they've got this crazy choreographed moves and shit, and it looks really cool. They've always got really good combat, and JJK is a lot more like that. Because the abilities, well, yes, are pretty fucking hype. They're not super flashy usually, unless you're Gojo. That they're pretty flashy, but other than him, um, like they're kind of just hand-to-hand combat and enhance it. But that's one thing that I wasn't a big fan of in season. Well, I am a big fan of it, but I wasn't as big of a fan as some people. But in this movie, I was like, okay, because they kind of mixed the two. We got some flashiness to it, as well as some choreography or choreograph shit, and it looks really good. Um, then the story, I just like the story so much more. The main character Yuta is like my boy. Yuta is awesome. Uh, Honestly, I wish he was the main character, and I know it was originally planned that he was going to be the main character. Um, but there's a few characters who I would have liked to have been the main character, and it's Gojo, Maki, and Yuta, or Megami even. Any of those four are all really good. I understand why they're not, and it's not bad that, especially with how Yuji's turning out. I don't like him a bunch, but he's fine now. He's a decent main character. He's like Tanjiro. Tanjiro I like more than Yuji, honestly, because you can root for Tanjiro so much more. Yeah, that's right. I'm talking about you. Um, sorry, I'm talking to my cat. But they the music slaps. The fights good. Like I said, the animation is really good. You can tell this is Mappa's. I think it's their favorite thing they make. Honestly, it's like the golden child because we've got Attack on Titan, which they definitely put a lot of work into, but it's not as fight intensive. So I think Mappa, because like you can see now from Hell's Paradise, kind of some disappointing parts. I really wish Mappa hasn't picked up as much as they have because it seems like they do really, really good on like half the stuff, but then the other half it's kind of disappointing. Like Chainsaw Man, I was not a big fan of the Chainsaw Man adaptation. It's not bad, don't get me wrong. Chainsaw Man adaptation was still good, but I just wish there was less CGI personally. But I understand why it's there. But stop talking about other things. Sorry, I'm I'm petting my cat and it's distracting me. Yuta is really cool. We see more of the like side characters in Jujutsu Kaisen season 1, like Maki and Panda and Toge. I think his name's Toge. I don't remember, but the guy with the bandage covering his mouth and he has cursed speech. He's really cool. We see more of all of them. We also see more of Geto and more of Gojo, who are both very cool. Um, Geto Geto is one of my so Geto and Gojo are like actually my favorite characters from JJK. I think Megami is also up there, but that's probably my two favorite. Gojo's my favorite. Gojo's awesome. Megami's my second favorite. Um, and then Geto. Yeah, that's probably the order actually. Really cool. The movie's got good animation. I like the story a lot more. It's a lot more simple, and well, it's not even like a lot more simple. Like the story of JJK is simple, but it just kind of doesn't. Well, okay, it does go somewhere in season 1, but it just feels like it doesn't. I don't know how else to describe it. Um, what else is there to say about JJK Zero? I have the manga of JJK Zero. That's how much I like it. Like I actually do really. I fuck with JJK honestly. I I think it's really really good. Just not the first season. I'm just not a big fan of the first season, but after that, I really like it. Um, what else? My only complaints with the movie would be I don't really see. This is tough because it doesn't. It's kind of unfair to compare it to this, but I'm comparing it to a Demon Slayer movie, and the Demon Slayer movie, well, yes, is like the JJK movie. Well, yes, is very good and very important to the plot. It just doesn't have that same feeling that the Demon Slayer movie had. Where when I was watching that, I was like, okay, I can see why like you need to watch this. When the JJK one, you don't really need to watch it. You should absolutely, but I don't think you really necessarily need it. But it's not like filler. That's the thing. It's like I don't know. It's not filler, but it's not filler either though. I guess is the way to describe it. It's well no, it is it's not filler. It's real, but it's just not like important, I guess is maybe what I'm trying to say. Um and to be fair, I watched JJK Zero only once, so it has been a while since I have watched it. But I'm also like literally in the middle of One Piece, so I don't just want to start JJK Zero. Well, yeah. So I'm watching. I finished more One Piece. I'll talk about it in a different video. But what other problems are there with JJK Zero? It's I don't know. It sets up a lot, but also kind of has a lot more questions, which I do like. But if you it kind of when you go out of it, you're still like, so what the fuck just happened? like what happened to Ghetto right there? Like what's going on? Which I do normally. I enjoy that, but I don't know for some reason I just wasn't. Maybe it's because that was what made me read the manga. It was I watched that and I was like, dude, what the fuck? I was like, what is so? But how, what? And then I now know. I'm not going to spoil the manga though because I think it's good. Is there anything? There's not really. Maybe that's the best way to describe this movie. There's not really anything bad about this movie. But there's also nothing that's like makes it genre defining, like best of the best. If I was to rank this with my top like anime movies I've ever watched, it probably would go number one is The Silent Voice. I just think it's an actual masterpiece. I'll talk about that someday, I'm sure. Then number two is the Demon Slayer movie, which is great, like really good. It's right up. It's well, okay, it's not right up next to silent voice. It's like slightly below a silent voice. And then the JJK movie, which is good. It's just not as good as the Demon Slayer movie. It's like it's good, but it's not great. And then we've got Your Name and Weathering with You, I'd say, is above Your Name. I just hated Your Name. I'm gonna be completely honest. We're not gonna talk about that though. I know I'll get assassinated by the anime community for that take, but I'm just not a big fan of Your Name. And have I watched any other movies? I don't know if I have, but that's where I would rank it on the movie. So it's good, but it also doesn't do anything like spectacular. I think it does the fights. Like, if Demon Slayer hadn't been out, I think these fights would have been like mind blowing to me. But Demon Slayer still like blows my socks off every time I see fights. It's crazy how good those fights are, and the JJK fights are fire. I can't wait for next season. Next season's gonna have my favorite and like new gen fight soon, and I'm really excited. That's enough talking about next season. So if I was to rate JJK 0, I gave JJK season 1 like a 58, which I'm gonna say it again one more time. 50 is average, so that's better than average. I just don't think it's much better than average. Now the movie JJK 0, I think it's like a 72. Honestly, like it's pretty good. Not 72, 78. Sorry, 78. I think it's pretty good. Like it's not the best, but it's its own little story and it's really good. Yuda's awesome. Gojo's awesome. All the characters are awesome, but it's just like I said, there's not anything that is super spectacular or different or super unique or a different idea. It's kind of just generic shonen, but in a movie form and with really cool fights, which I'm down for. Like, I love Demon Slayer. I think I just prefer Demon Slayer animation style. I like the choreographed fights, but the flashiness, it just touches my soul, bro. I don't know. It's just when I see those colorful lights, I'm like, my god, this shit is fire. And that's about it. Later. Oh wait, and before I actually end the recording, you out there, I hope you enjoyed Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 as much as I did when I was reading the manga, and hopefully it is just as interesting as it. Hopefully they adapt it just as well. Which, the opening, by the way, the opening for Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 is fire. It's so good. And now for real, that's about it. Later. Don't ask why I'm having a Sharpie.